Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started with my lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and in sincerity. Lord willing, this video will be edifying and to the point. And I'm not sure what I'm going to entitle this lesson, all right, but it's going to be somewhere along the lines of take care of your temple, all right? And the inspiration of this video, all right, is from this thorn that I had in my side, man, all right? This toothache, all right, which is the reason why I haven't made a video in a while, is because I was going through it, man, with this tooth, all right, that I ended up cracking. I ended up cracking it, and I set up an appointment to get it fixed, but just so happened, I'm about 2 weeks out from, about 10 days. I'm about 10 days away from my appointment. So I would say it was about almost 2 weeks, all right, from the start of when this happened, because it's been, about 7 days now. So, yeah, that happened, man. Ironically, that tooth was supposed to get filled in, but I think I'm going to just take that mug out because I'm not trying to have any other more problems with it. But nevertheless, we'll see what the Lord has me through with that situation. Really want to try to keep all your teeth. But, if they're detrimental to your health and they can't be saved, then I would definitely let that mug go. But nevertheless, it got cracked, and I guess some food got into it. And even though, I ate my cereal, whatnot, because it was late that night, and I ended up eating some cereal because I don't like to eat anything heavy overnight. So I said, man, let me just eat me something light, some little cornflakes. None of that GMO BS. I don't be eating none of that shit that these niggas be eating, like Fruity Pebbles or any of that. Not to knock you, some brothers like they pleasure every now and then, but, 2/3 them niggas be overindulging in BS, but you shouldn't be eating that anyway, But for me, I had some cereal, I had some cornflakes, and that shit ended up getting in my tooth. And even after I did my routine, brush my teeth, wash my mouth out, with mouthwash. I don't use any of that BS. I use like Dr. Tish's, right? And I even have one of those dental flossers, right? That gets in between your tooth real nice. You know what I mean? And even after all of that, man, I still got it somehow, some way. But hey, it is what it is. It prompted me and inspired me to do this video, through the spirit. So hey, you go through a suffering for a reason. All right. So that happened. And my shit was inflamed. My whole side of my face ended up swelling up. First it started off with a toothache for 2 or 3 days, and then after that, it chilled out like it was about to be over with. The next thing you know, motherfucker swelled up my whole face. Ended up having to go. I ended up going to the doctor before it swelled up, and then right after that, the next day, that's when my whole face just blew up, man. Could barely talk because the whole left side of my face was that bad, man. But I ended up going to the hospital. All right, and they gave me some antibiotics, and the doctor gave me some He gave me some antibiotics to the IV, and he also gave me something to take home. But mind you, even before he gave me all of that, I was trying everything that I already had at home. Cloves, clove oil, cloves, uh, all pulling. Shit, I tried damn near everything, and it still didn't work. But hey, you know, it is what it is. All right. Again, like I said, all of that led me to do this video, which is, ultimately, I was able to go to the doctor, and I was able to go to the hospital and, do these specific things. But hey, when the system goes down or when all hell breaks loose, all right, it made me think about you ain't gonna be able to go to the doctor. All right, when the charagma is implemented, all right, when the charagma is mandatory, all right, you won't be able to go to these different hospitals or doctors or any of that, because unless you have that charagma, unless you have that mark of the beast, you can't do anything. All right, and that mark of the beast is the RFID chip. All right, just like in the time of C-19, when you couldn't, if you didn't have, all right, that Band-Aid, you couldn't go into most of these stores. All right, you couldn't go to work. All right, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. All right, and in the scriptures it speaks about, all right, it says, Revelations 13:16, all right, that he's going to cause both small and great, rich and poor. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick, since I'm speaking on it. Why not? And he caused, again it says, and he caused all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right. And to be able to purchase, or to be able to go to the doctor, all right, you're gonna have to have that charagma. You can't go to the store and buy these different. You can't buy your Tylenols or what people like to use. Your Tylenols or your ashwagandha or any herb that you want to get, that you can get from off the shelves at your local grocery stores or off of eBay. Any of that. All of this is gonna revolve around that charagma. All right, and if you're not a part of the system, then you can't get any of this. You can't buy what you need. All right. So it's important to take care of your temple now, so that way whenever the Lord has it to where we have to live like pilgrims, then it'll give you a heads up. All right, it'll give you a head start. Even though body exercise profit little, it's still profited. All right, so it still profits to take care of yourself, because you still live in these bodies, man. All right, but I don't want to ramble on too much. I just wanted to make the point, all right, that, to take care of your body, man. All right. So let's go here real quick. This is, 1 second. This is Sirach 38:1, and it says, honor a physician with the honor due unto him, for the use which ye may have of him, for the Lord hath created him. All right. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him, for the uses which ye may have of him, from the Lord have created him. So Yahweh Shemi Awashai, all right, gives all right, these physicians the knowledge on how to take care of you. All right, all this knowledge comes from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, whether it be them giving you, something from the earth, because majority of these things that they tell you, they give you, it's really from the earth already. They just do all the hard labor for you. But nevertheless, all right, again, uh, the knowledge of putting these different things together come from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, just like brothers in the truth, right? Some brothers are strong in certain particular parts in the truth, whether that be, history, physical health, or knowledge of the herbs. Okay, and really, brothers are really, well-rounded in these particular things. But some are particularly stronger in these particular topics than others because they dive a little bit more deeper than other brothers. And that's just the spirit that the Lord specifically put on that brother so he can be a help to the body. All right, for the brotherhood and to heal the brotherhood. But even in all of that, it all comes from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, verse 2, it says, "For of the Most High cometh healing." So all healings come from the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, when we read the scriptures, it says that I heal and I kill. I make alive. Well, it says, I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver from my hand, roughly paraphrasing. All right, so the Lord has the strength and the ability to do all these things, all right, through his angels, all right? And it says, and he shall receive honor of the king, all right, even the king, all right, the kings of this world, all right, they get sick, all right, and, the king give reverence to who? The physician, all right? But in all right, it really magnifies Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. Verse 3, it says, the skill of the physician shall lift up the skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. All right. So the knowledge of knowing how to put certain, herbs together, the knowledge on how to put certain herbs together, all right, in ways to, benefit and heal brothers or Pacific people, all right, from their different ailments or whatever it is that they may be dealing with, all right. These help put those people in high positions, all right. The status, all right. Being a physician is a high-paying job, all right, because in this world, in Esau's kingdom, all right, a sick patient, all right, is a good patient for them, all right. They can't do anything with any patients that are healed, all right. I mean, they really aren't a patient if they healed, are they, right? If they sick, they're a patient, all right, because they have to constantly come back. But if they healed, they're not, all right. But that's what this scripture's talking about, man. All right. So let me read that again. It says, the skill of physician shall lift up his head. All right. So the knowledge of the herbs and him putting them together, all right, helps put him in high places. All right. And in the sight of great men, he shall be in admiration. All right. They shall talk high regard of him. Verse 4, the Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. All right. So a person that is knowledgeable in the herbs, all right, they are not gonna abhor them. They're not gonna keep them to themselves. They're gonna, all right, try to heal them. All right. The scriptures even say, when the righteous are in authority, all right, the people rejoice. But when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. All right. And the righteous, man, when we govern the earth, Aparatazaviel, the elect, all right, we are going to actually heal the other nations of their sicknesses. All right. We're going to actually give them herbs to treat the ailments that they have in the body, because they're going to still be subject to death. All right. The Israelites, they're going to be perfect. All right. Because they're going to have the law, statutes, and commandments within them, within their hearts, within their minds. So therefore they will not die, because sin equals death. But the other nations, they're going to die. They're going to get sick. And they're going to be coming to us, all right, to look to see how they can get rid of whatever infirmity is that they may have. And they're going to get cured whenever they come to us. That's why they're going to be at peace and rejoice as well. You know, knowing that this man is in power, all right, you don't really get that. You don't get that at here at all. All right. If anything, they're just going to keep you into, you know, running back to them, man. All right, to spend your money. All right. So it says, verse 5, all right, it says, was not the water made sweet with wood, and that the virtue thereof might be known? All right, going into in Exodus, all right, when we was in the wilderness, and the Lord basically made the water sweet, all right, with the tree. Verse 6, and it says, and he have given men skill, that he might be honored in his marvelous works. All right, so through the knowledge of the herbs that were given by the Lord, all right, the Lord is magnified because of his healing. All right, because as a physician, you say, oh, well, you know, you can just go into the woods and get this, that, and the third, and hey, you healed. Out here in Louisiana, there's this tree called the mangler tree, but we call it, what is it? Mangre. We call it mangre, but the pronunciation is mangler tree. And when you sick, all right, damn near every Southerner out here, all right, every Louisiana knows that mangler tea, when you sick, you take that, it's going to sweat literally everything out of you. You're going to be healed. All right. So, you know, just the knowledge of the herbs, knowing that you can go to the, you know, the forest or wherever it is, you know, these areas, and pick these things up from the earth, and they'll heal you. All right. That knowledge alone, Shalakia, because my pronunciation is still a little messed up, because again, my mouth is still a little you know, swollen. So bear with me. So knowing that you can go to the woods and get these different herbs, all right, and that these things are out here because the Lord created them, these magnify Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. All right. That's why it says what it says. I'm going to read it again. And it says, and he have given men skills on how to put these things together, that he might be honored in his marvelous works. All right. That's Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So through the knowledge of the herbs, because the knowledge comes from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, which is given to people through the physician, the Lords get magnified. The Lord created all these things. All right. The Lord gave him the knowledge on how to put these things together. All right, to heal these people. All right. So it magnifies Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, because he's the one. And even if you do get these herbs. It's still of the Lord if you get healed or not. You know, it's still of the Lord if you get healed or not. All right. The scriptures speak about the Lord killeth and maketh alive. He wound and he heals. I, the Lord, do all these things, neither is there any that can deliver out of the Lord's hand. All right, roughly paraphrasing. So, how about Shimi Awashai is he can do whatever he wants. All right, I'm going to go here to Psalms 103 and 1. It says, bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is written in me, bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits, who forgiveth all thy iniquities, who healeth all my disease. Again, who forgetteth all my iniquities, and who healeth all my diseases, right? So the Lord heals your diseases when you're sick. All right, so when you're in a lower state and you're sick, you pray to Yahweh Shemi Awashai to bring you back to a full state of health, especially if you're a prophet of the Lord, man, because you want to continue to do the work. All right, and I remember watching a brother video, just a little bit. I think it was a day or two right after this after all this happened. Brothers talking about, he was, he did his, he was doing his thing. I think he said he was going back to work or something like that. He was heading on his way out from work, and he caught a stroke, and he was out for a while. All right, but the Lord restored him enough to where he was able to go back and do the works, man. All right, he made the video. He brought forth his testimony. So we pray to remain in our strength. All right, while we're in our youth, to be able to do the works. All right, and you make the Lord happy, man. All right, let's continue to verse 8. It says, of such does this Shalakia, of such does the apothecary or carry make a confession, and of his works there is no end, and of Shalakia, and from him is peace over all the earth. All right. I'm going to read that one more time, verse 8. And it says, of such does the apothecary make a confession, and of his works there is no end. And for him is peace over all the earth, right? Because, when you're healthy, you at peace, you're happy, you're doing good, all right? And why is that? Because you ain't gotta be in a bad state of mind because you're down, all right? You're not doing good, you're not healthy, all right? You can't enjoy yourself, all right? It's peace in the earth, all right? Because you at peace, all right? There ain't no disease disrupting your body, all right? So yeah, man, all right? That's why it's important to take care of your body, because you can have all this money in the world, but you ain't going to be at peace if you jacked up. You can't enjoy none of it. All right? That's the main thing. You can't enjoy none of it. All right? Because you in this body and you're basically being tormented. You really are. All right, I'm going to jump down to 14. Sirach chapter 30 and 14. It says, better is the poor being sound and strong of constellation, that a rich man that is afflicted in his body. See that? Let me read that again. All right, it says, verse 14, it says, better is the poor man being sound and strong of the constitution than a rich man that is afflicted in his body. Shalakia. All right. So yeah, man, it's better that a poor man, all right, when it's better to be a poor man that is strong in his body, all right, than to be a rich man that what has an affliction in his body, all right? Because a man that is poor, all right, he can enjoy $20. He can enjoy that $20 more than a person who has an infirmity in his body that has millions of dollars, all right? Like this guy, who is it? Steve Jobs, right? The founder of Apple, right? He was a billionaire, all right? He had all that money. But guess what? With even all that money he had, he couldn't save himself from death, all right? He couldn't really enjoy himself. His health, all right, was stripping him of everything. And that's what it can do to you, man. It'll strip you, all right? It'll bring you low, all right? Verse 16. It says, there's no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. Again, there's no riches above a sound body. So no matter how much money you have, it's not better than having a sound body. All right, having all your functions. All right, having all your senses intact. All right, and be able to walk properly and do all the things that you're supposed to do, how the Lord created the body to purposely do naturally, than to have a infirmity or a thorn in your side, man. That's hell. All right, and that's why the scriptures say, fear him. Don't fear him that can kill the body, but fear him that can kill the body and destroy the soul in hell. You know, which leave you in this body to be tormented and suffer the thorn in your side or whatever it is, however the Lord decides to do you. That's way farther. That's way far worse, man. So, calm to Wadi Abashim Yahushua, man. All right. Verse 17, it says, death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness. So it's better to die. It's better to die, man, than to live a bitter life or to live in sickness. All right? It's bad to live in sickness. All right? Ain't no way to live. All right? To be a vegetable. All right? To not function how you once functioned. If you was a person who was very active, and all of a sudden you're not so active anymore. All right, some traumatic accident happened to you to where you can't function how you function. That's a horrible way to go. So again, better is death than a bitter life or continual sickness, man. You know. So, hey, man, take care of yourself. Take care of your body. And, you know, just continue to pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushua to give you the strength to continue on, man. Protect you, you know, and to guide you to do the right things, man. You know, in this walk, in this race. So I think that's pretty much the lesson. You know, Abaratazah was edifying. And until the next time, again, I'm going to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and sincerity. Until the next time, Lord willing, I say shalom.